We did lots of really interesting ways to save money. I really like nature and bringing a bit of nature elements into the house. I love doing this project with my dad. It was a lot of hard work, but so rewarding. Hi, I'm Gemma. This is my tiny house, also known as the Casita. Come and check it out. Welcome to the kitchen. It's very back to basics, very simple. I'm not a huge cook, and if I can't cook it in one pot, I'm not cooking it at all. So I've just got a really simple 2 gas burner rings. I have my LPG tank out the back, which is just like a little 9 kg bottle, which suits me fine, and it's easy for sort of moving it around and filling it up. So with this whole top unit, it's all salvaged from an old restaurant. So it's all made for chefs, so it's a big deep sinks, and with the backsplash and things, it was just actually made from other parts that we had sort of cut off and dismantled. And it just is a good protection for the heat for the walls and things like that as well. Up the top here, we did our storage again, really simple, and I've just put like copper bars through the top just to hold anything there. If there's any wind or anything, nothing's going to go rocking. And then I keep more of my bulk storage in under the curtain there. And we've got our plate racks and things. A lot of my bowls and plates have been made by my dad, which I've been very lucky to have. I enjoy having nice crockery. When you live simple, what you have is sort of important, I think. This is my little flip top bench. I thought I was going to use this more than I do, but it is really handy if you are cutting and running out of bench space, so you can flip this up and work away. I discovered the joys of preserving, so I really enjoyed preserving a lot of produce last year, so I needed more storage. So this is just lots of jars of pumpkins and beetroots and things like that. Again, it's been all made just with scrap materials and things we've had lying around the house. Which then leads me to where is my fridge. I don't really like fridges too much, so I've just got just like a little tiny beer fridge you can put in the car, which is just plugged into a USB port. Then when we move down here, I have 2 deep cycle batteries for my solar. My solar is quite limited. It was something that I was wanting to see how simple I can go. So I've just got 2 deep cycle batteries, and I've got 4 solar panels on the roof and on the far side as well. It works most of the time. In the middle of winter, you do kind of go, do I need to charge something? Do I not? Can I live without that? On the normal day-to-day stuff, it's totally fine. But yeah, sometimes if it's been 3 or 4 days and there's not a lot of sun, yeah, it's a bit of a pain. So I decided to live in a tiny home because I had been traveling for the last couple of years with just a backpack. 22 kilos was my life in a bag, and I just don't need stuff. And I don't like wasting money on rent and things like that. Like, it was just, I wanted to have something that was more mine, and it was simple, and it didn't need to be a big space. I quite enjoy small spaces, and I enjoy multifunctional kind of places as well. So my dad and I decided to build this house together. I have no building experience. I don't know if I have much more now, but I'm really good at holding things, painting and cutting things in a straight line. My dad's pretty epic and has made all of this come to life, and yeah, I'm so grateful. So we're now in the dining area. It's kind of a multi-function area, really. Sometimes it gets used as an area of really just sitting around. So with my table, it's one of my favorite things I've got in the house. It's actually probably one of the only things that I've bought new as well. So with this table, you can flip this down if you want to. You can also spin it around, and there's another side that extends, so it will fit the whole length here. So it's really good if you've got a few friends around or a dinner party that you can kind of get four or 5 people in there, easy peasy. And then through the center, I've got 3 drawers on this side here and 3 drawers on the other side. And that's just good for having like a workspace thing. So you can kind of do office work there and have that stored. Also a massive fan of crystals and earthy kind of objects, so just having something pretty in the house is always nice. Over this side here is my fireplace and my wood box, so I keep all my kindling and things there, but sometimes that doubles up for a seat as well. With the fireplace, it's actually made out of a 9 kg gas bottle. There's a guy in the city and he builds these specifically for tiny houses and things, and it's been just a game changer. The first year here in the house, I didn't have a fireplace and it was quite cold. It takes about 20 minutes and the house starts to kind of warm up, and I generally only have it lit for a few hours every night because it actually gets nearly too hot because we've insulated the house so well. With the window as well, we salvaged that from the dump. That was my amazing find. We picked it up for $15 and my dad just framed it and then popped it in there. I've recently just put in my little swinging chair there and I love that at night. And then over here I've got like a writing bureau. This was actually my granddad's and it's one of my favorite things I remember from my childhood. That was really nice to be able to reuse that in the house. Then we come down to the couch area. I've had a couple of different things here. I originally started with an ottoman that you could then pull out to be a double bed, and I thought that was really helpful if anyone came to stay. And then last year I got quite sick and had to have major surgery, and you'll see that to get up to my bed I had to climb a ladder and that was just not possible. So we actually dismantled a set of bunk beds and then slotted one in for a single bed here. So this is where I was sleeping for that period of time. And I love it so much I've not got rid of it. I don't think I would go back to a couch now. And then there's loads of room underneath it. You can store your shoes and bits and pieces of stuff. My window over here, as you might have been able to see, I really like nature and bringing a bit of the nature elements into the house. I also have a strong yoga background and I'm quite a spiritual person, so having my little sort of ornaments of Ganesha and Buddha there is just, it's kind of like a little altar for me. And then I just have like little trinkets and things that I've picked up along the way. It might look like not a lot to somebody, but it's quite special to me, this area of the house. With cost, I am guesstimating it's probably cost us about $35,000 to make, which is really quite cheap for what I feel like we've got for it. We did, again, lots of really interesting ways to save money. Like in a lot of the places you would think you might use plywood, we've used MDF, which is half the price. Also with our bracing and different structural things, we've actually put things closer together but used a thinner timber. So we'd have the structure, but it was cheaper. Like there was lots of little wee cunning things how my dad kind of got around. Also the tiny house community on Facebook were brilliant. At one point I got to a point where I had kind of run out of money, but I wanted to insulate the house, and literally the insulation was given to me from lots of different people. So that was a real beautiful blessing out of nowhere. So we just decided to put in a little wee cheapy wardrobe. As you can see, it's packed to the brim, but I think that's how all tiny house homes have their wardrobe. You try and shove as much in as you can. With my ladder, we have bolted it to the ceiling with like really huge bolts, and that's very, very secure, and we've bolted it to the floor. And then that leads up into the loft and the sleeping area. So we're up in the loft now, which is a great little spot, especially in the middle of winter when it's a bit cold and the heat rises, and it's super cozy. We've just kind of got like a little window at the back here, which was gifted to me, which was lovely. And then over here I've got all my cabinets for my clothes and things like that, and that was gifted to me as well. And you can fit a lot in there, and it just fitted perfectly. And my little washing basket. So I just toss everything under that, and you can just pull it down, walk out the door, because I don't have a washing machine here, so I do my washing elsewhere. We are now in the bathroom, the tiniest little bathroom, but it's perfect for what you need. I decided to make the bathroom smaller so that I could then have a larger kitchen and like you're not in here very much of the day. So having it smaller has worked out really, really well. I've got a nature's hair compost toilet, which I really do like. I was a bit kind of skeptical, how's it going to be in a tiny house in a small space with a compost toilet? I think this smells less than a normal toilet. Like, yeah, I have no problem with it or in emptying it. If you were ever concerned about emptying it and it being a bit gross, it's totally not. It literally looks like compost when you take it out. And then I've just got a really small little shower cabinet there. It's quite narrow, but we decided to do it narrow because you can kind of turn sideways and wash your hair and do whatever. It's enough for me. I think if I was a big 6'4" guy, it might be a bit tight, but it's just me, so it's okay. I've just put in a new gas heater, a bigger system, so for my water heating, and that's been a game changer. It's just a lot more consistent with my hot water. It's just like a boat pump that pumps it through. I think it can heat up to about 16 litres an hour. So we've now come outside. This is probably our latest addition over the summer last year, was putting in a pallet deck. We just wanted something that is very easy to move if need be. So we've just kind of had to brace it along one side because we're on a little bit of a hill, and we actually bought brand new pallets, like really nice matching pallets, just for ease and for it just to look a little bit sort of nicer and neater. And then I've got a bit of a cactus obsession, so I've got all my cactuses about, and I'm just starting a little bit of a herb garden as well, which is really nice. Really enjoyed having lots of things popping up and growing a lot from seed over the spring, and now we're heading into the summer and it's all starting to bloom. It's really lovely and rewarding. So this is just a very, very basic rainwater collection. We've just used the spouting is just on the front half of the house, and it just comes down here. And with my watering can, I can then just do all the plants along this sort of side. It's super simple. It's not challenging or difficult to get your head around, but yeah, it works well for me. So we just come around the back of the property now into my garden, where I have only been here about 2 years, and I'm just still learning how gardening actually works and growing stuff. So it's all still a bit of an experiment and trial and error, but I'm enjoying it and trying to grow things from seeds. And I've got my little plastic little house that I've raised all my seedlings in. I also have a watered barrel here, and where I get my water from, I can then just turn a hose on. I just fill that up. It will last me a few days, so I don't have to kind of go up and hook up the water to the main house, which is a little wee way away. If you want to live tiny, I really would suggest really diving into why and can you actually do it on a really realistic scale. Like, I would nearly be like, can I live in one room for the next 2 months? Like, get rid of all your stuff and just try it out, or go and have a holiday and like an Airbnb. There's a tiny house. Go and try and experience it. I think people think they can always do it, but you've got to be really passionate about it, and it is a real commitment. It also is a little bit of a beautiful dream, but I would just be really sure you want to do it. I love doing this project with my dad. It was a lot of hard work, but so rewarding. I feel so happy to come home to this space. Yeah, it's this lovely retreat space that's all mine and built with a lot of love. So yeah, I'm happy and don't regret a moment of it, or all the hard work. It was definitely worth it.